How's it going, everybody? Finally, we have a great event to break down, some easy numbers for you to follow along with to make sure you can get 100 Oath Shards, basically for free, for doing what you're going to be doing normally every day, but just a little bit extra on one of these events they got running around. And then even more exciting than that, to me at least, as an alliance leader and as somebody who's in an alliance that's been struggling with Spec Ops, we got Live Pool to go into a dungeon for the entire weekend and automate the spreadsheet. So that is going to auto-assign your Spec Ops for you. Super excited to share that with you. Right now, let's check with Live Pool. Mr. Live Pool, what's your vibe check on this event coming up?
Much better. Really excited about this event. There should be a lot of free-to-play players getting a lot of Oath Shards, so really excited about that.
Yeah, me too. So let's jump right into that then. Let's see what we're talking about here. So it is going to be called the Cosmic Shadows event, and this is where we're going to be clearing enemy waves in Battle World, which I guess you'll probably agree with me 100% here, Life Pool. That is a much better event input than the one that we have, because this is independent. You don't share nodes with anybody else. You don't need to get 30 out of 30. You don't need to clear the entire nodes. Like, this is a way better event input, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see Spec Ops turn up again in a different event running on this week as well. But
yeah, the repeating alliance event. Yeah. Besides that, we're going to be spinning Astral Energy Showcase, which is going to be a key factor in what we're talking about in this video. Campaign Energy and opening the Strange Awakening Orb, which I'm guessing is just a free pay-to-collect kind of thing. And then collecting points from the Stellar Conquest Milestone. So the big rewards in this event is clearly just going to be these Oath Shards here on the right column. We can get up to 100 Oath Shards if we can get all the way to Milestone 15. There's other great stuff out there, like we got 8 billion gold on Milestone 16, a bunch, 100,000, 180,000 turkeys, and 360,000 turkeys lower on. Those are obviously reaching into the Whalestones by then. But, as Lipo's about to talk us through, we can get a lot of good stuff from this event, right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a really generous event. We can go deep into these milestones pretty cheaply.
Right on. So why don't you walk us through what we need to do to let's start off with the banger, right? Everyone wants to get the 100 Oath Shards. What do we got to do to get those 100?
So, as you mentioned, that's up to milestone 15, and I've put in some fairly standard values: 4 refreshes a day on campaign energy, 4 refreshes per day on astral energy, and maxing out the web milestone. 7 days, you're already at milestone 16, so you've gone one past all the Oath Shards.
It's a beautiful event when it comes through like that, right? When you're getting 100 new character shards and 8 million gold on the tail end of it, that's pretty good. All right, so yeah. How much? That's 400 cores a day. I often get people complaining that 400 cores a day isn't free to play. I think that they probably don't know how much cores they're getting a day. They might be spending it on other things here and there. Let's say somebody wasn't going to be coring the astral energy here because they don't have the Ancient One unlocked, and because they don't get extra turkeys from that, they don't really see the value in coring that campaign. Can you show us how hard that's going to hit them in this event?
Let's have a look. So if we set that to 0 and we still do our campaign energy, that still gets us to milestone 15. You're still going to get your Oath Shards even without coring the astral energy.
It's as easy as that, guys. Super easy, and it mostly comes down to the fact that the Battle World clearing waves is such a huge portion and very easy to accomplish, right?
Yeah, you need to clear 60 waves, which is there's 19 per day, so you've pretty much maxed out after day 3.
Yeah, there you go. So those are going to be the biggest inputs to look out for this event to make sure you can get it done as easily as we're talking about here, guys. Make sure you're doing your Battle World missions, the gameplay. Make sure you are spending the turkeys, because that's going to get you, I think, like 20,000 event points toward this as well. And then make sure you're doing your campaign stuff. I can't stress enough for the mid-game players, people who are, struggling to get maybe a little bit extra cores. Farming those training mat nodes daily is so big for you. And if you've been hoarding energy up to this point, this event is going to be that much easier. Do you think there's any other interesting milestones that we could reach out for? So we had 4 on the campaign, 4 on the astral. That was getting us to about, what was that, 216,000?
Yeah. I think the next most interesting one, some Dark Diamond credits is nice, and then it's these purple ions, isn't it? Because everyone wants to be getting it in.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to push a bit deeper, 18 is the one to try and go for. Let's see what we've got to do to get to 18. Mm-hmm. So if we do 8 refreshes on the campaign, maybe. It's not a huge factor. What do we got to get? We've got to get to 280,000. Let's say you've got some energy saved up. maybe you've got like 3,000 energy saved up. That gets you another 20k.
Yeah, or maybe you can dip into your strike store.
Yeah.
If you're a spender. Can you set the astral
Absolutely,
energy to 8 as well? Isn't that going to be a big jump? Oh.
That was with 6,000 energy saved up.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you got 3,000. Oh, not 300. Can't type. There you go. So eight refreshes a day on both with 3,000 saved up will just about get you there.
Yeah, so we're definitely dipping into the cores then. Is that 400 plus another 800 on top, so 1,200 a day? Could get you 700,000 purple ounce. Not bad as far as like core to what you get for value. This is obviously not your casual player's guide, but I think this was a good demonstration of how you could utilize this tool to get the results that you desire. So thank you for that, Mr. Livepool. But as you know, we've had you sweating and working hard to make sure Spec Ops is as easy as possible for everybody. So let's take a second. We're going to go ahead and set up this sheet, and Livepool is going to walk us through his brand new, basically AI operated Spec Ops tool to make sure you and your alliance can smash these Battle World events. Alright guys, so here we are, and you're going to notice some differences on this sheet already. We have a make assignments button and a reset button. So I'm just going to give the microphone to Livepool and just let him give us a little TED Talk on how to use this tool. He's made it really easy for us, so there's that.
I hope so. So you start off with just the 2 tabs. So you've got this little tutorial page and then the rosters tab. Really important information in here. Once you've made the assignments, which I'll show you how to do that in a sec, do not do any copying and pasting. But don't copy people's names into anywhere. That's going to break some formatting rules that's been set. Mm-hmm. Just type or select from the drop down to make any changes that you want to make.
There you
go. But let's go and paste in the roster. I'm going to use my alliance as an example. And then I'm also going to take out one of my alliance members to show you what happens if someone hasn't shared their roster. So here we go, I've pasted in my roster, and Clown Captain's actually leaving us today anyway, so I'll take him out as a demonstration.
And I guess, yeah, this is going to be a good demonstration too, just for when you have alliance movement.
Right. So I've pasted in the roster, and now I click the Make Assignments button. That takes a little sec to generate all the sheets. And that's it. That's all done.
You're done.
To the best of the sheet's ability anyway. So I'm going to break it down a bit of how it works. So obviously, I'm missing a player in my alliance. So it doesn't know who that player is, and it hasn't put anyone in there for those assignments. But you can put that in yourself. So down here, let's say Dorky Dad is joining my alliance. You type in Dorky Dad. And then you can start putting in Dorky into these assignments. There you go, and it just highlights in yellow to remind you that they haven't shared their roster.
There you go.
So on.
So yeah, when you have a new player coming in, you can show them this, be like, hey, do you meet these requirements before they come in? And you can see that way. But you've also done a huge upgrade on these drop-down boxes, right?
Yes, so let's go to one that's quite rare. Let's look at the 1 Diamond Gladiator. In these drop-down boxes, it only shares the people that can actually meet that requirement. So you can see there's only about 10 names there compared to all 24.
Yeah.
So that is a new update that I've put in.
There you go. Scopely could take a good lesson about the time it should take to put huge quality of life fixes into something. Livepool did it in 3 days. What are you doing? All right, perfect. What else you got for us?
All right. So let's break down how the rules work. So you'll see over here on the right that the characters have been grouped into 8 groups. These are groups that everyone's going to donate together. So if you end up donating Group A, you're going to donate all of those characters together, the full Sinister Six team, Superior Six, I guess. If you're in Group B, you're going to donate all of Spider Society, and so on. Now, no one is going to end up in more than one of these first 4 groups. So if you're donating Superior 6, you're not going to donate any Hivemind characters, which is obviously important because you need the Hivemind characters to complete the mission if you're donating Superior 6.
Yeah.
And then again, you're not going to be in more than one of the next 4 groups either. So if you are donating Gladiator, Gore, and Endgame, you get to keep your Skrull, Kang, and Val.
Yeah. So guys, what he's talking right now is what he asked me to do to help out is I made rules for who can spec ops what and what they then have to keep. So for this one, zone 1, we have one node that requires city. The next node is Spider-Verse, but there's 3 teams that have overlap on those, right? So you could use Spider-Verse or Hivemind or Superior 6 on the city node and the same thing on the Spider-Verse node. So you need to keep at least 2 of those teams, but we also need 5 of those characters from each team spread out through our alliance to be put in Spec Ops. So it's just kind of a cross-check to make sure that you still have the tools needed to beat the nodes. And I know there's very powerful bonuses on some of these nodes. Like in Zone 5, Hivemind characters get 200% increased damage when they're below 50% life. That is a very, very strong bonus. However, there's also raid rules attached to that node for whatever reason. So in that particular case, in Zone 5, when people need to give up their Hivemind characters, because you have to do that, the bonus characters are on every single Spec Ops sheet, then it's going to assign 5 people to use full Spider Society there, and those people, and everyone else gets rid of their Spider Society, everyone who has to, right? So you should never be in a case where you don't have what you need to beat the node still. But I do want to give a word of caution. Maybe we'll have to update this a little bit when we get to difficulty 5. There are like 3 nodes in this entirety of this mode that are somewhat interesting. That one I was just talking about, where you could use Hivemind, they get 200% increased damage, when below 50% life, raid rules are active. On that node, the final 5 enemies is a full Spider Society. So 5 people are going to do a mirror match. The other 19 people will use Hivemind with the big bonus on, and we're going to see how that works out. Which one is easiest? Like, if you take momentum in with Spider Society, that final wave, can you just beat it easily? Or do you really have to have certain Hivemind characters? Mind you, I don't really see a hybridization between Hivemind and Spider Society. That would be very interesting. But that's something we'll tackle down the road. All this to say, this is going to be doing a check to make sure that whoever is doing the Spec Ops is not screwed out on the nodes, because the nodes, besides event points, are way more valuable for victory points. All right, go ahead and take back over.
Perfect. Yep. And you can it's color coordinated with these characters down here, and you'll see all the yellow ones have the same list of 5 names, so they're all donating their Superior 6 characters.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to show you is an example of where it does slightly break, but I've put it in a way that it should be easy for you to just manually complete it yourself. So an example for my alliance is in Zone 4. Now, the problem that my alliance has with Zone 4 is that we do have a group of the MSF Originals, Group B in this case. We only have 1 player that can donate all 3 of those characters. So it's put that player in, it's Ares, and it's left the other 4 names blank for you to fill in manually yourself for people that can donate those individual characters but can't necessarily donate the whole group. So there is a list over here of people that haven't been assigned to any of the first 4 groups, and you would want to fill it in from that group first, that list first, because it's not going to interfere with any of the other characters that they're donating. So let's see if Suzazi can. There we go. He can. Well, actually, everyone can do Weaver. So you would just start filling it in from that name, from that list there.
There you go.
And so it's done. It's done almost all the work for you, and then you may just have to add in a few extra names manually if it can't make the groups.
Yeah. So what he's talking about here is that somebody cannot donate the entirety of the MSF Originals while also meeting the criteria for the other things. So it's going to leave it blank here, but it gives you the information of who you still have to play with. The drop-down boxes now only show people that can actually fill it. So now you'll do slight tweaks. This might change who that people are going to be taking into that node. I'll go back to that Zone 5 Node 1 example. Let's say for whatever reason this is not going to happen with Spider Society, but one of your people who has to use Spider Society, they just so happen that they also have to donate their Ghost Spider, because that's just the way it works out in your alliance. Well, you can make that swap here, and then they can kind of see what they need to walk into that node with now, right?
Right. Exactly right. Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
And that's pretty much it. So once you've filled out all the extra spaces that didn't auto-complete, you've then got your display pages here. So there's 2 versions of it again, depending on whether you would prefer to make 24 screenshots, 1 for each player, or just do a daily screenshot of the whole alliance. That's up to you, but let's put me in there, for example. I would, well, let's put something that's not someone that's not me. Me as a captain would screenshot this page and send it to an enemy so that he knows what characters he's donating each day. Or as I say, you can go to the zone assignments one, and you could just take a full screenshot of day one so that everyone knows what they're doing.
Perfect. Yeah, I did both for my alliance because I had the captains really wanted to see the full alliance one so they can make sure people were doing the right thing. And then some of the older members wanted the individual one because it was a little bit easier to read. I want to take a quick minute. Can you go back to zone, I believe it was 5 there for a second? So you have these ones that are completely blank the entire mission. This is because his alliance does not meet the criteria on one character at all. He does not have 5 people that can do people in this mission, right?
Yep, this you can see here, Sentinel, we only have 4 people that've got 6 Red Star Sentinel, and only 3 people that have got 1 Diamond Nimrod, so that's why it skipped those missions.
Yeah.
I'll do this one.
So, Scopely has gotten so much feedback. So many alliances were screwed out of this week's alliance event. I'm not sure if they'll pivot for the event coming up this coming week, but I do think Spec Ops input missions are going to be different going forward. I think they're going to break it down so that if you fill in a character, you're going to get Spec Ops points. If that happens, we're going to update the tools so that the AI recognizes that and fills in everything it can and just leaves the one that you can't blank. And then keep an eye out for that, just in case we hear messaging on that anytime soon. Cool. Well, Mr. Livepool, thank you for going to bat for the player base for... I felt like you were doing that for like 72 hours straight. But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. How did you enjoy Battle World, by the way?
It's just a bunch of clicking buttons, isn't it? At least in difficulty, normal difficulty.
Yeah, I'm excited for difficulty 5. The node rules, like how their raid rules are active, or crucible rules, or war rules, it does, and there's always like 2 insanely powerful options. Kind of makes me think like it's going to be boring the whole way through. Null was an auto fest, but that was because we were on normal. I still think Null on difficulty 5 will be more interesting because you're going to have to really work around barrier, work around his damage, work around health, max health steal and stuff like that. I think we're going to get an interesting Null week 4. So, you know, chip her up. It'll be good eventually, right? All right, guys, from me and Livepool, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you guys get great use out of the event portion of this video, as well as this insane Spec Ops, I'm going to just call it the AI pool, generated sheets that we got for you guys. This is so cool. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you guys in the next event video. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.